This is going to help set the stage for you and really direct your attention and your resources to areas that actually will have the most amount of benefit. And I'm going to explain all of my reasoning in this video right now. Right, so hey guys, what I like to do is to break this down into 3 different sections. The first is direct outreach. So I'm going to cover why you should be using direct outreach as a technology, as a software company. That's going to be cold email marketing and LinkedIn bot marketing or LinkedIn bot outreach. So I'm going to explain what both those things are, how you can use them. The second thing I'm going to look at is search advertising. So that's SEO, organic, and paid search. And the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at social media advertising. So that's mainly focusing on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, as those are the principal channels at the moment. So that's what I'm going to cover. I don't cover anything out of this, but this should give you a full core understanding of what you should be doing as a B2B technology software company. And let me get started straight away with cold email marketing. This is going to be a fantastic channel for you. Whatever your preconceived notions are about cold email marketing, let me tell you that it just simply works. As you know, I run something called LarryBot. And the reason why that is so successful, that tool, is because it's doing something new in the industry. If I was just to go out into people's email inboxes, and I can guarantee you watching this video have received such emails by marketing companies trying to solicit your business saying, hey, look, you're a company, we're a marketing agency, do you need some help? That is just the standard approach. If I come to you saying, I've got an artificial intelligence marketing consultant you can use for free, that is a completely different game altogether. And your natural intrigue is going to go up, you're going to be much more engaged, and hence why you'd probably end up watching a video like this. And so it definitely does work, whatever your preconceived notions are. You just need to be clever about it. Now, it's a lot more difficult as a professional services firm, but as a software company, that difference is already baked into your DNA. Typically, what you'll be doing is you'll be displacing an analog of the problem that you're trying to solve. So there might be service businesses that already solve the problem that you're trying to solve. So like, let's take Xero as an example. Xero is accounting software. Obviously there are accountants that do things for you, but Xero basically allows you to, do your own accounting, like in-house basically. So you're effectively supplanting an analog version of what you do. And a lot of software is either making things quicker, cheaper, or more effective than an analog. So already you're going to pique people's interest because they could be saving something by using your software. They could be gaining materially themselves in a way that they can easily quantify just in a cold email to them. They'll get it immediately. And if they're interested, then they're going to get in touch with you. Believe me, I've seen those campaigns work the best out of any cold email marketing campaigns that I've run in the past. Now, don't just sort of go and sign up to MailChimp and start trying to work it out for yourself and pumping emails in there that you've bought off some dodgy list broker. There's an art and a science to cold email marketing, and do not start this unless you understand that art and science. I will cover it in a different video, hopefully, or a different training session. But you need to understand a lot of things about cold email marketing, the correct software. You need to understand the domain level settings and records that need to be set in order to pass spam filters. There's definitely other software that you can use that increase your chances of passing spam filters, increase deliverability rates, maximum emails sent per day, and so on. You want to use a single thread email marketing architecture. You do not want to be using anything that's used for newsletters. You need to use specific cold email marketing software, and nothing else will do. It has to be the top of the range cold email marketing software. And obviously your lists, ideally you get them straight from LinkedIn by scraping LinkedIn. But if you are going to use a list broker, just make sure that you do your due diligence. And there are some good ones. You really need to know what you're doing, but if you do it right, you can definitely get a lot of results. And a lot of people watching this video will have probably come from my LarryBot stuff. And the fact that you're here watching this video is exactly why that works. That's cold email marketing. Now, the typical way that works is you're leading someone to a phone call, or you're leading someone to take an action like let's have a chat about what my software could do for you, or like what the pricing is, or how it fits in. So you might want to you might have a less committed action instead of a phone call before that. That's up to you to work out. What is the first thing? Is it going to be a meeting? Is it going to be a call? You need to be very clear about that in the email. But I'd say get someone on a phone call to a business development person is the simplest way to do it. Now, another exciting new area that I think I've been at the forefront of pioneering is LinkedIn bot outreach. Now, I don't just mean using a LinkedIn bot, because LinkedIn bots have existed for 5 years. It's basically It's basically software that automates your personal LinkedIn profile, personal, not company, your personal LinkedIn profile, and it goes out and connects with and then messages your offer to your ideal prospects and targets directly within LinkedIn. Has some benefits, obviously. You're going to avoid GDPR issues, you're going to avoid deliverability issues. People get many less emails in their LinkedIn profile than they do their email account, so they're going to take what you have to say even more seriously. And being a software company, it looks kind of cool that you're reaching out on LinkedIn, because it's all part of the same. It makes sense, software, LinkedIn, tech, all kind of fits together. So I definitely look there as well, and you're not going to have any problems with people flagging you or the ICO or anything. Not that you have much risk in cold email marketing either if you do it properly, but for people who are extra sensitive or like the idea of going through LinkedIn, then definitely do that. You can also be a lot more tailored on LinkedIn with your targeting. It tends to be. So there is a way of doing this. If you want to know how to build a cold outreach system on LinkedIn, you need to send me an email, and I will give you access to my free LinkedIn bot masterclass. And that is going to teach you how you can build and scale up a system on LinkedIn that does 10, 20, 30 leads for most B2B companies. So if that sounds interesting, hit me up. And basically what this will allow you to do is, while you sleep, your LinkedIn bot profile will be connecting with and then messaging, similar sort of thing in the email marketing. Now, there's different tactics for this. It's not just about the software. There is a whole bunch of systems that you need on top of just the LinkedIn bot software itself that actually let you do this at scale. Many people try this, they tinker around with it, they think they got the hang of the software, but it doesn't work in the end, because they end up tripping up over all the booby traps that LinkedIn has set so that you can't do this at scale. But suffice to say, whether you're going to do cold email marketing or LinkedIn bot outreach, you will get fantastic results. I can guarantee you of that. You're going to get, if results are possible for your industry, they will be for the technology and software solutions, because it is just so different. Okay, cool. So that covers outreach. Whatever you're doing, whatever other marketing channels you've got, you need to get on top of that 100%. Do that right now. Even before I cover the other stuff, just get on top of that. That should be your priority. List number 1 on your task list is sort that out. So now let's talk about search and SEO. So this is going to depend on whether you are niche or whether you apply to lots of different companies. If you're a very niche business, so let's say you only work with pharmaceutical companies and the software that you offer is like prescribing data, for the NHS or something. If you're very, very niche and there's only like 5,000-10,000 people that actually fit the criteria that you'd want to sell to, then you're going to be using, you might want to jump straight into SEO, especially if you're one of the first to the market to offer a sort of software solution to the problem. You're going to want to jump straight into a content, digital PR, SEO strategy to start generating inbound leads to your company. So that's people searching on the internet, whether they're searching for information about stuff that you do, about problems that you solve. They're going to all eventually lead back to your service pages and hopefully sign up to the software. Ditto with search advertising. You're going to want to get on top of search advertising immediately. Now, if you're in an industry where there's loads and loads of competition, you may want to steer clear of this channel altogether. It might be too expensive to run search ads, but providing that it's not, you definitely want to be considering this channel very, very, very highly. So examples of this would be like something like Xero. So Xero Accounting, they will often run ads against the analog, the service business analog. So if you type in, accountancy London, you'll find that Xero and Sage and things like that will actually be, and QuickBooks will actually be running ads against people searching for accountants. So small business accountants, stuff like that, they will just run ads against that. So that might be possible in your industry if you're doing something new, but there is an analog that's solving the same problem. There may be a logical jump between people searching for that service because it's all they know to search for because they don't know you exist. You may be able to write your ad copy in such a way that says, looking for this, well, we've got something better, it's cheaper and faster and, automated, click here. And so that could work really well for you. If there's no logical way of doing that, if what you're doing is so new or so cutting edge that there's no conceivable way that someone's searching for, the normal problem solution statement, like independent of your software, then you might want to you might have to steer clear of search advertising. Look, if you're the first to the market doing whatever you're doing, 100% you need to be dominating search, whether it's SEO or paid search. You need to get on top of that, because those benefits will accrue to you over the years as more competitors come in, as your software category becomes more defined, more developed. The actual search volume starts increasing as people become aware that there's a software solution to their problems, and you'll be the top of mind right from the beginning. So it's definitely worth doing if you're new to the market, and also if you're not, as long as there's enough search volume there and it makes sense. So that kind of covers search and SEO. Then we're going to look at social media. So again, depends on how niche you are. If you're very, very niche, you're going to want to focus on LinkedIn advertising. The typical funnel that we see working here is you start off with content, and you start off with sort of sponsored content, thought pieces that you're basically pinning to a select audience that are your prospects and targets. So if you have a very small niche audience on LinkedIn that you want to sell to, like 20,000, you can ensure that all 20,000 of those people, whenever they log into LinkedIn, they see a really awesome piece of content or video or infographic from you pinned to the top of their feed, because you're paying to be there. Otherwise, you just get drowned out. You have to pay LinkedIn to get onto the top of these feeds. And then what you're doing is you're then tracking people who engage with that content, who like that content, by setting tracking up on your website where you're driving them to. And once you know that they're interested, you can then send them much more targeted, much more hard ads that sort of say, exchange your phone number, your email, whatever, in exchange for a phone call or something. Or, they'll actually get in touch with your business at this point, because they already know you, they've already engaged with some of your content. They're much more likely to now want to take the next step, sign up for a free account, whatever it is. You can go with a harder ad once you know that they're sort of bought in to some extent. So that's the main thing if you're in a niche software category. If you're in a more generalized one, it depends how advanced you are as a company. If you have loads and loads of emails, you could use Facebook, because you can use custom audiences. If let's say you sell to restaurants or something like that, it's very good targeting within Facebook for like restaurant owners. There are specific job titles that are very well targetable in Facebook, but otherwise you're probably going to want to stay with LinkedIn if you're targeting other businesses that aren't like kind of generic businesses, or like sort of standard kind of SMEs like shops and bars and pubs and restaurants and that sort of thing, and retail. You might want to stay on LinkedIn. If a custom audience is basically where you upload an email address. So if, let's say, you've been going for a long time and you have a customer database of like 25,000 plus people, even if they're not customers but they're people who inquired, and you have 25,000 their emails and you have consent to use those emails for further communications, then upload these into Facebook, and then Facebook will then find those people on Facebook using their email address. Even if you don't know who they are, it'll anonymously go and find the matching Facebook profiles. It won't get 100% match rate, but it will get something like 20%. And then you can ask Facebook to create a lookalike audience based on that core audience that it's found, that are your customers. And you can tell Facebook, go and find me people that look exactly like this 5,000 or whatever's left. Go find me people who look exactly like them, and run ads to them. So it's a lot cheaper to advertise on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is part of Facebook, but it's a lot cheaper to advertise on Facebook, Instagram than it is on LinkedIn. So if you have a way of doing it on Facebook, Instagram, obviously do it there. And so that's either if you can use a custom audience, or if there's an easy way to define your audience on Facebook, which typically doesn't have very good business level targeting. That's really the purview of LinkedIn for obvious reasons, but because of that, it's much more expensive to advertise there. But LinkedIn will be super, super successful if you run a proper funnel. Don't go in straight with a hard sell necessarily, depending on what you do. Depends if you offer free software first before there's a paid version, a freemium, depends. But typically what you want to do is you want to canvas your audience, see who's interested, and send the people who are interested at least in the concept of what you're doing or reading about you. Then you go out to them a second time with, let's go for a free account, let's go for a demo, let's go for whatever it is, and they can actually fill their details in within LinkedIn using something called a LinkedIn form. So that second ad you send them, or that third ad that actually asks for details, doesn't actually even need to point back to your website. You can capture all their details directly within LinkedIn. And this will be very, 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 very powerful. So the times when you would use that kind of approach and not search advertising is if you're very new to the market and nobody is searching at all for the kind of solution that you offer. And two, if there are no easy jumps from the analog version of what you do, like the problem that you solve, like there's no existing service business queries that match onto how you solve it with software, and there's no way you can make a logical jump, then you're going to use LinkedIn advertising. If you have the option, I would say you should make your main digital advertising channel search, especially if you're new to the game. You want to dominate search, get in there early. But whatever you do, you're going to need to set up a cold email marketing. So if that's my whole recap for this video, and I hope it's been useful so far, happy to clarify anything, but get on top of cold outreach. It's going to work wonders for you. Then you need to decide whether you're going to use search advertising or social to begin with. If you're newer to the industry or there's a very well developed software category around what you do, stick with search advertising. If you're new to the industry and you're sort of pioneering stuff and there's lots of search volume for related stuff, but not quite the software solution, then get in there early, start driving inbound traffic, start getting in there. But having said all of that, social media is where you can get a lot of value if you have a very, very niche audience, or even a general audience, but you feel that search will have too much competition, or it's too expensive for you, or whatever the reason is. Then you've got a very, very credible alternative in social media. It will take longer to optimize a LinkedIn campaign than it will with search. It might take up to 6 months to do that with LinkedIn than it will with search. Now, that's the three areas. Underpinning or sort of underwriting all of these is an effective retargeting campaign. That's email retargeting, social media retargeting, Google Display Network retargeting. Wherever somebody goes, if they have made it onto your website, you should be following them around the internet 24/7 until they come back and take the actions that you want. It doesn't have to be with hard ads, following them around the internet. It can be more content, taking them to more landing pages, explaining more things, showing them case studies, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a hard sell on each of these ads, but you want to be top of mind and at least follow someone around the internet with useful stuff, just so that they constantly, when they do feel they're ready to pull the trigger, they're going to know about you, they're going to be very well aware of you, and they may even just search for you on the internet and find you and contract with you. So I hope that gives you a nice underpinning. As ever, guys, hope you got value. Take care and see you for the next video. Bye-bye. Hey there, brainy marketers. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found it useful, do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video on all of your social media channels. So go ahead and do all those things, and we'll see you for the next video. Cheers.